Call to order, Pledge of Allegiance. Tom, do you want to lead us?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. Looks like we got a pretty good group for a September short agenda, so we'll get going. Pat, you want to take roll, please?
Okay, Pioneer Town, Michelle Myers. Yucca Mesa, Tom Ziegert.
Here.
Landers, Richard Lutringer.
Here.
Joshua Tree, Mark Lundquist.
Here.
Flamingo Heights, Liv Koenig. No. Seat 6, Desert Heights, that's me, Pat Flanagan. Wonder Valley, Teresa.
Here.
And Morongo Valley, Gail.
Here.
And Copper Mountain Mesa, Mary Helen.
She's on vacation, excused.
Okay, that's why I'm doing this. All right. This is a really difficult thing for me to do, something that's, you know,
You did
pay
a fine
attention to
job.
this
Thanks,
instead
Pat.
of to you, but I'm going to do it.
Okay, adoption of agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Here, second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. Number E, approval of minutes of July 11th, 2016 meeting, which are on the back of everybody's agenda. May I hear a motion? Approve.
I move we approve the minutes for July 11, 2016.
Second?
Second.
Gail? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, yeah, public comment. And we have a pretty good stack tonight. Let's go with,
Okay, and I'm going to be taking, it's going to be 3 minutes, and I'm going to be the gatekeeper.
thank you, Pat. Okay. Ed Valoran.
Excuse me. Public comment.
Up.
Sorry. Didn't hear you. I apologize.
No problemo.
My name's Ed Valoran. I've got property in a number of the communities up here, including Wonder Valley. Last Saturdays, and I have raised Cain about the county fire department before in Wonder Valley. You know, after there was 2 houses that were burnt down, I wrote an editorial after checking out the East Fire Station that the county didn't even have the key to get at the 2,000-gallon water tender. Plus the 10,000-gallon tank wasn't full. Well, they subsequently, there's been a, now this is past management I'm talking about, there's been a change in management. They subsequently took the water tender and moved it next to the manned fire station, 45 in Wonder Valley. Well, the water tender has a dual-speed transmission, rear end on it. And the reason why they only took care of the 2 fires with the brush control was nobody had been assigned out here that could drive the full-size fire truck. Well, for the first time in 50 years, I found out, they got rid of the water tender, so there is no water tender in Wonder Valley anymore. None at all. So now they respond to fires with a 250-gallon water tender. You know, there is a new captain out there that has a combination that's taken over, and from what I saw, he's well qualified and can do a good job. But you know, this is absurd. The first water tender back, I think in the 70s, was given to Wonder Valley by the Marine Corps. And that other water tender that they just decided to get rid of was paid for by the people. Now you've got it that if there's a fire in Wonder Valley, they'll show up with 250 gallons of water. And they say, well, they're coming from the base or 29 pounds. That is 15 road miles away. I would like to see the county be more responsible and get a water tender back there, and also whoever did the mal-assignments of people when we had those 2 houses that didn't put someone, he should have been busted a fireman recruit as far as I'm concerned. And I would like to see them assign at least one person that can drive a full-size fire truck instead of just a brush truck. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, Steve Bardwell.
My name's Steve Bardwell. I live up in Pioneer Town, Pipes Canyon. I wanted to comment tonight about the clearing that was undertaken at the Joshua Tree Retreat Center. At the Joshua Tree Retreat Center. It's very disturbing to see such a large area that was cleared. Even though the Joshua trees, they were careful to work around the Joshua trees and the yuccas, still the fact that that much land was disturbed, it really plays havoc with the air quality. When we get some heavy winds there, it's liable to kick up that dust and really make quite a mess. I'm curious as to, and unsure as to whether or not they had a permit from the county that entitled them to do that kind of clearing there, but it's something I just wanted to express my concern about. I also want to express my support for the designation of a dark sky park. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Elena Anger or Angle? Did I pronounce that right? No. Well, I can't read your writing. It is Elena, right?
It's Elena, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anjoy.
Anjoy.
Hi, my name's Elena Anjoy, and I just wanted to make a comment about that new cell tower on Sunny Vista, which is quite unappealing aesthetically, and I don't know how that whole design got approved by whomever, but it's in my backyard, and it could have been made a little. I mean, I've seen designs that palm trees and pine trees, and it exceeds the 32-foot height limit, and I guess I got a special approval through somebody. But now that it's in my backyard and I see it, I just want to make a comment that it's quite ugly, and I think future plans should be more wise and in looking at who designs these and who approves them. So I don't know if there's anything we can do at this point to change the design, but that would be a welcome change. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Is it Gilda Smith, right?
Okay, I'm here about the cell tower too, the 55-foot cell tower on Sunny Vista for Skyview Chapel. My name is Gilda Smith. I live in Friendly Hills, and I'm here about the 55-foot tower on Sunny Vista at Skyview Chapel, and I'm agreeing with her. This tower is really huge. It would appear that there has... Closer. Okay. It would appear that there has been an error with the planning, as some residents are reporting that they did not receive any notification of the tower. Zoning is divided about a block from the tower. In the immediate area, there are supposed to be notifications to all residents within 300 feet. And the next block over is zoned as rural, and notification is supposed to be to all residents within 1,000 feet. This did not happen. And these residents were caught completely by surprise. What happened? The zoning restrictions and intent of the Joshua Tree Community Plan for this area was completely circumvented by the conditional use permit that was granted by the county. How is this of any benefit to anyone outside of Verizon? It's quite clear to the community that we are being exploited and we're disappointed. You are here to protect us against incursions like this, and failed legacy aside, residents want to know what needs to be improved: leadership or use of common sense. As residents and voters, we think it's unfair that Verizon seems to enjoy better representation in matters that concern our community than we do.
Thank you for your comment. Hank Parks?
I don't think I need that. That's sufficiently big now.
Speak right up to that man's microphone.
Yeah, you need it to get on tape.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
sorry.
goes directly to the video.
I'm also concerned about the cell tower. I wrote a letter to the editor, and I'm going to submit that here. The title of the letter is called Sneaky Church. And I said, apparently Skyview Chapel on Sunny Vista and Joshua Tree has a congregation that doesn't tithe, as evidenced by ongoing commercial ventures being conducted on a tax-exempt church property. A cell tower in 2011, now another in 2016. And I have a question mark. Does this affect their tax-exempt status? I don't know. In the Bible, when this type of venture was conducted in a house of worship, Jesus drove the commercial vendors from the church, John 2:14-16. It's interesting to note the date of 8/23 that the county sent out the notices to the general public of 24, because actual construction began prior to the notices going out, with application permits and granted long before these notices. Now, the pastor and the administrators of Skyview declined to comment. That was in the last paper. And I know the pastor, and I wrote down, this is not the Abe Casino I thought I knew who has or had integrity. Hank Parks, Joshua Tree.
Thank you for your comment. Rebecca Unger.
I think everyone's aware this is an election season, and we also have, am I on? And we also have local elections this year. In fact, you'll get a chance to meet and grill those candidates, some of them at least, Saturday, September 24th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the station here in Joshua Tree. These are candidates that are sponsored, endorsed by the Morongo Basin Democratic Club, so these are Democratic candidates, even though many of these are nonpartisan elections. I'm sure the Republicans will do the same thing. But you'll have a chance to talk to school board candidates, healthcare board candidates, water district candidates, also 42nd Assembly. We have a challenger to Chad Mays, and also 8th Congressional District, a challenger to Paul Cook. So please hope to see you guys come out, and I say meet and grill. Be an informed voter. Thank you. September 24th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the station in downtown Joshua Tree.
What station is it? The old gas station.
It's called The Station. It's just east of Xanadu Lions.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I thought Joshua Tree was the center of the universe.
David Fick.
Thank you. David Fick, Joshua Tree, longtime resident, and just for some of those people with the cell tower, I was on the JT Mac 2006-2012. I dealt with the quote flagpole, unquote, as best as we could, but that was railroaded also. I was going to mention, I guess it's a community update, on the Next Era project, which is the JT Solar 110-acre solar field trying to obliterate the Joshua Tree Airport. That one is going to be having a filing of a sequel lawsuit sometime before September 15th, because September 15th is one day before 30 days on the August 16th notice of decision. Contrary to what the county said the notice of decision was August 9th when they only had 3 people or 3 supervisors in the meeting. They really don't know what they're doing, actually. So a letter of engagement has been signed, and the filing will be before September 15th. Also want to bring those to everybody here. The Altamira Gated Community Project, and those who are fighting the cell tower, that's minuscule compared to what this gated project is. Want to be there. This is a 248 house gated community, 105 acres, built as densely as possible because it was upzoned in 1981 in a backroom deal to make a political favor to the Hoffman family, which owned the Section 33 and Section 34, most all Section 34. So there was, people described it as favoritism, nepotism, I don't know, whatever, but it's corruption. Back in 81, we're still having to deal with it. We're still having to deal with it now, right, by the way. The hearing for tomorrow, there's a hearing tomorrow at the the hearing is downtown San Bernardino, but there's a video conferencing capability at the county building in, in Joshua Tree near the courts. And that starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I anticipate the meeting probably having the hearing date for the Altamira project between 10:40 and 11 o'clock. Sometime that's when it'll start, and it'll be interesting. We're already dealing with a lot of the responses from the county planning staff regarding this project. And as some people would say, it's deplorable. It is actually quite deplorable. The last line on the county findings for why they're approving the project, and this is verbatim. The project meets a high standard of low density, low impact development. Figure that one again, I'll say it verbatim. This project meets a high standard of low density, low impact development. Like I said, deplorable.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lorraine Turk.
Hi, Lorraine Turk, and I live in Joshua Tree. I'm affiliated with, among other things, the Morongo Basin Conservation Association, and I wanted the representatives of the MAC and the people in the room to know that we're going to have a very forward-thinking meeting on the very popular date of Saturday, September 24th. There's a lot going on, but our event is in the afternoon from 1 to 3:30. We have speakers who are dealing with renewable energy issues on a local, statewide, and even international basis. We have a speaker from the Mojave Water Agency, and one of the newest things is making energy from the flow of water that's already happening along pipelines, and he's going to speak to that. And in addition, locally, we'll be having Frank Lucchino from 29 Palms to talk about some of the ideas that they are pursuing on renewable energy within their community. And also Eva Soltes and Nicholas Holmes will talk about some gray water. Again, water and energy are so closely tied together, and that's what we're hoping to share at this event. So we do ask for a $5 donation, but it's not required. It's at the Yucca Valley Community Center, Saturday, the 24th of September. There's a lot going on, but you can come in and come out as you please if you'd prefer. Our website is mbconservation.org, so MB, Morongo Basin Conservation.org, and you can find out more details there. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, we'll move on to item G, Public Safety, County Fire. We have Tom Marshall.
Good evening. Thank you, council members and members of the public. Just a update on your numbers for the month of August. For those that didn't hear, my name is Tom Marshall. I'm the Assistant Chief with San Bernardino County Fire Department with the South Desert Service Zone. For Johnston Valley, you ran a total of 6 calls for service last month. Joshua Tree, 103. Wonder Valley, 26. Landers, 46. Pioneer Town, 3. And Yucca Mesa, 55. A summary of those calls were 8 of those were fires, 6 unauthorized burning, 153 EMS rescue calls, 15 public assists, and 72 miscellaneous all other calls. And that's your monthly totals for August. If the council has any questions for me, I'd take them. Yes, ma'am.
We had somebody last week whose father is living with them in Wonder Valley, moved in with them, and they needed to call an ambulance, and the ambulance came, and County Fire came right behind, and the insurance company picked up the ambulance bill, but they wouldn't pick up the County Fire bill, and so they don't have money to pay that bill, and I'm just trying to find out a little bit of information that I can give them, because they're saying now that they will never call the ambulance again, and that would be a disaster.
If they were... Control Alt Delete. How about this one? So I'm assuming that the fee that you're talking about is the paramedic stabilization fee. They may have received a bill for that. Is that the case?
She didn't say exactly what it was, but it was for the County Fire.
Okay. I would have to see the bill.
Okay.
Please forward her to my office in Yucca Valley. I'd be more than happy to look at it.
I'll absolutely do that.
And I could explain it better after I saw it.
Okay, thank you.
But we still encourage them to call 911.
I know, and that's why I was bringing this up, because I don't want her not to do that.
Right.
Thanks.
I don't believe they're doing zero balance billing right now, so.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
What constitutes unlawful burning?
Well, anytime you're burning outside of a burn permit, if you're burning trash, you're burning weeds, and you don't have a burn permit, if you're burning trash, it's already outside. You can't do that ever. But if you're burning weeds and you don't have a burn permit, that's an illegal burn as well. And if there are regulations for fire pit burning where you are allowed to do it, but there's regulations that have to be followed and you have to have a permit. But my counterparts back here from CAL FIRE would give you a better idea on that as well. Yes, ma'am.
What is that paramedic? Would you call it equalization?
Stabilization.
What is that?
We have paramedics on all of our units. So the paramedics get there and they do a stabilization of the patient. Sometimes it's before the ambulance, sometimes it's same time as the ambulance, sometimes it's right after the ambulance gets there. So it's...
Do you charge for that?
It should never, that bill should never go to the individual. It should go to their insurance company. So if an individual receives a bill, it could have been because of bad address information, bad date of birth, bad social security number, all those bad things could have happened. So then it gets, the billing company sends it back to the patient.
And what insurance? Your homeowners or your medical?
Your health insurance.
So we'll go to Medicare, Medi-Cal, or your private?
Absolutely.
Is that new?
Fairly new, yes. Within the last year.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Right.
Very quiet. I imagine it was a shock. to those folks.
It's literally, it's not a bill designed for the customer. It's the bill designed for the insurance company. Generally speaking, when we go on a call, it costs us around, the bill comes for about $1,200. Medicare pays us $220. So that bill is to offset part of that you don't receive. But it's not intended for you to get billed. It's intended for your insurance company to get billed. Yes, ma'am.
So if your insurance company declines,
I believe your question is, if the insurance company declines, then what?
Yes.
Right now, we're zero balance billing, which means we're not going after you. We're not going to take you to collection and all of those things.
Yeah. So that.
Yes, sir.
As I said, my complaints about those two fires actually occurred before you had been appointed to the position and before the captain is out there. But it was still an issue, whoever did the scheduling. I really believe that if you have a full-size engine, you should have somebody that can drive it.
And we have people that can drive it. That was not taken out of there because of that, but you're more than welcome to call my office and we can talk anytime. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Good evening.
Thank you. Okay, who do we have from CAL FIRE that's going to talk tonight?
I'll leave it on.
How's everybody doing? My name's Chief Jones. I have Chief Stock and Chief Herrera with me. First of all, I'll say thanks a lot for having us out. Next is, this year has been a challenging year for CAL FIRE and all of our cooperators. Due to the drought and the grass crop that we got from the rain over the current past winter. Our current situation right now, we have 6 significant fires in the state, largest being 105,705 acres, and that's in Monterey. It's going to be the Sobranos incident. This weekend, we're expecting our first round of Santa Ana winds, so we're asking everybody to be very cautious when you're outside doing any outdoor activities. Today, I've also brought Chief Stock and Chief Herrera. They're going to speak about the state responsibility area, fire prevention fund, and tree mortality grant that the state is currently offering.
Good evening. My name is Mary Stock. I'm the division chief in charge of the Desert Division, which is the state responsibility area from Riverside County line around the back of the mountains to the LA County line. We're here tonight to just make everybody aware of a grant opportunity that's paid for with the SRA fees that some of you who live in the SRA areas pay every year. This is a way of getting some of that money directly back into your community. The grant period is currently open. It opened on August 22nd, sorry. But it closes on September 28th, so we have just a short window left for you to get your grants in. We have some of the packets, but it's also available online for the different communities. Those that are eligible to apply for the grant would be local governments, including counties, fire districts, I had it here, water districts, community service districts, special districts that have SRA within their jurisdiction.
What is SRA mean?
SRA is State Responsibility Area. And if you live in it, you know because you get a bill every year. Anybody get a bill? Yeah, I see some heads. So for the purposes of your Municipal Advisory Committee would be Flamingo Heights, Landers, Pioneer Town, Morongo Valley, parts of the surrounding area of Yucca Valley, a little bit of Joshua Tree. There's a section down in Joshua Tree. That's all state responsibility area. Everybody pays a fee every year that goes to the state, and some of that money is funneled back into the grant program. $16 million this year available statewide. 10 million of it is being set aside for a tree mortality grant. Some of you may be aware in the Central Sierras they have 67 million dead and dying trees from the bark beetles due to the drought. The drought stressed out the trees, the bark beetles attacked, and they've taken out a lot of the trees. So if you've been to the Sierras lately, you've seen that problem. But then 6 million of that 16 million is available for all of the other SRA projects or SRA funded areas to do projects. So you can look at doing things such as chipping, community chipping. We've been successful in San Bernardino County, at least 8 grants up on the mountaintop, and they have 2 different areas where they do chipping. They have a curbside chipping program in Big Bear where you go online, you fill out a form, they come out, and you've piled up your branches and things on the curbside, they'll come out and chip it and haul it away, or leave it if you want it. There's a couple of community chipping grants or chipping projects over in the Crust Line, Lake Arrowhead, Running Springs area, where they have a central collection point. People bring their stuff and it gets chipped and hauled away. They also have a couple of other new grants that they just got for helping people, low income, disabled, elderly people, helping them to clear their property and make defensible space once they've received an inspection notice. If they didn't pass the inspection, the grant is there to help them pass if they're unable to do the work themselves. So those are some of the successful grants that have been applied for and are currently now in operation up on the mountaintop. But I want to let you know it's not just the mountaintop. This applies to all of state responsibility area. So the desert communities are included in that. Nobody's ever applied. So we're out here trying to make you aware of it. We brought extra packets, and also the website is on the packets. You can go online and apply through the website. And we just wanted to be here. We're going to be here afterwards to answer questions, and we'll have packets available for anybody that wants them. So, anything to add? Oh, I'm sorry, important thing. The maximum grant amount for this year's grant, this is the third year they're doing it, they've upped it a little bit. The maximum amount this year is $200,000, and they do have an equipment provision for $100,000 in that $200,000. So if you needed to buy a chipper or lease a chipper for your project, that would be included in that $200,000 up to $100,000. So I think that's about, oh, I'm sorry. Also nonprofits, if you're a 501c3 like a Fire Safe Council, or some of the HOAs qualify, even because the special districts. So there's a lot of different ways to qualify. It's all outlined in the packet, and we're here to answer questions. We can't write it for you, but we can certainly help you by answering any of your questions.
My question is, I've been on the website before to look at the boundaries for the SRAs, because you also have local responsibility areas. So is that something people should do, go to CAL FIRE and find the mapped areas, or does the packet have a map with it?
There's no map in the packet, but there are links on the CAL FIRE website, which is fire.ca.gov, to show you whether you can put in your address basically, and it will tell you whether you're in the SRA.
Oh, good.
Most people who get a bill know that they're in the SRA. So
right. Okay.
But, yeah, if you have the people that aren't getting bills that are in the SRA are usually parcels of land with no habitable structures. You get a bill if you have a habitable structure or business on your land. So vacant land doesn't get a bill, okay? So that would be the kind of the scenario for not knowing whether you're in the SRA. So, yes.
It has to be applied for by a government agency?
No.
No.
It can be
individuals?
It can be any of those groups that we talked about: Fire Safe Council, Community Service District, HOA, fire department. But the grant is not just for chipping projects. There's fire prevention education projects. If you wanted to put up signs in your community and you don't have the money for it, saying, you know, to one less spark, or we have a number of different programs, but there's different things covered in the grant. So fire prevention, education, fuel reduction projects, tree mortality projects. Don't have a lot of that out here, but we're actually looking at one maybe in Morongo Valley. But things along those lines. Anything to help educate the property owners to make defensible space around their home would qualify. So it could be flyers, mailers, all sorts of things. So, anything else?
Any more questions?
When you say defensible space, you're talking about dead vegetation, is that correct?
It's not live trees or things, it's the vegetation that's
certain
dead.
things apply for defensible space. So if you have trees that are overgrown, or the tree branches are, say, right next to your chimney, they have recommendations in there to cut them back to a certain distance from your chimney, to get them off your roof, to clear pine needles off your roof. There's all kinds of things involved in that defensible space to help make your house more fire resistant when a wildfire comes through. So it can apply to live vegetation, and that's where, you know, people trim up their bushes, trim up their trees, and then what do you do with the branches? And then you all know that even though we have burning for most parts of the year, there's times of the year where we suspend burning and then you can't get rid of it. So you've cut it and piled it up, and now you can't burn it because we suspended burning. So a chipping project might help with something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Captain Jeff Joing, Sheriff Department.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, can you hear me now? All right. Hey, let's talk about August a little bit. As always, we always talk about the previous month. August was a really busy month for the Sheriff's Department. Because remember, we're a county-wide Sheriff's Department. We had the Blue Cut Fire. What it means on the law enforcement side, beyond the fire responsibilities are evacuation and public safety. So all of our deputies, even the ones that work here locally, they were spending all their days off manning, doing evacuations as well as security patrol. Arrested a lot of folks who were looting and other kinds of things out there in another different part of the county. There was a search warrant press release that went out this past week where the local detectives here, along with the marijuana team for the department, served 8 search warrants. A lot of people went to jail. A lot of people are still going to go to jail, and they cleaned up, I believe it was around 1,900 marijuana plants from the community. So, what's that? About 1,900. So, not bad for one day's work. They did pretty good. They look tired when they're done.
It said in the paper that they were cited and released.
Some were. It depends, because there are a lot of different search warrants and a lot of different circumstances. So even a citation is an arrest in some cases. Yes, sir?
Those plants, do you give those plants to medical facilities to use in a medical way, or you just destroy them?
No, we don't give them away. I was going to say something real sarcastic, like, you don't think we're smoking it or we're burning them? Because I don't think Chief Marshall will give me a permit.
It's used for medicinal purposes and it's approved in many places.
All the cultivations on the search warrants were illegal cultivations. And by county ordinance, there are no outdoor cultivations that are allowed. County ordinance, there's no outdoor cultivations. You can't grow it like alfalfa.
You can't grow some, right? There's something else?
Every case is a little bit different depending on the current law, which is ever changing. So for those of you who are paying attention, some local things that are going on out Yucca Valley Way. If you happen to be a Yucca Valley resident, the town manager, Curtis Yakima, is hosting informations on a couple of things they're going to have on the ballot, Measure Y and Measure Z. I know they put out a press release, but if you're interested, one of the deals toward public safety and roads, quality of life things. Before every council meeting, like next Tuesday, if you show up at 5 o'clock, they can answer any questions you have if you have those and fill you full information. Calls for service for the Sheriff's Department. Last month in August, we did 1,730 calls for service. So, but as far as crime goes, crime compared to last August we had a real rough August, but way down in all categories. So we're doing good, and happy to answer any questions for the council or the public. Yes?
Hi. Last year we were really lucky to as acting as a liaison for us in Wonder Valley, and each month we were able to get crime statistics for Wonder Valley, calls, reports, and arrests. But so in 2015, I have a complete set of crime stats, but I haven't been able to get any for this year, and I'm wondering who I can talk to make that happen.
Well, you can talk to Robert Anderson.
He doesn't give them to me. He said he doesn't do them anymore.
You know what? Go ahead and send Robert another email, and he'll forward it to me, and I'll respond to it, and we'll try and get you the information you need.
Okay. Is there any way that I can contact you directly?
You'll have my email address when I email you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you, Captain. Okay, next up we have Commander Eric Robles and Patrolman Simon Miller. Are you both coming up?
Good evening. I'm Simon Miller. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Morongo Basin Area California Highway Patrol here. Thank you for having me, of course. So for last month, on August 30th, we had the Coffee with a Cop, which we enjoyed. It was at Starbucks there in Yucca Valley. We had a lot of people that came and voiced concern or had questions. We were able to work with them and converse with them and hear their concerns and give them answers and generally just interact with the public, which is good in a non-enforcement setting. So we deemed it to be quite successful. We're going to do it again. We don't have a date yet, but we will set it, and hopefully it will be soon. So look for that. When we know when we're going to do it, we'll obviously give that information to the press and disseminate to the public. But we were overall very happy with the response from the public. The community here is very supportive. We appreciate it. We do our best also to serve the public. So it was a good meeting and a good opportunity for everybody, I think. We have coming up on this Friday at 2 p.m., it'll be the 16th, at the Demosa Senior Village. I'll be presenting an Age Well Drive Smart class. So that class is targeted for drivers age 65 and older. If you're interested in attending that class, I believe the press already has that information, so hopefully they've been helping disseminate it, and people are aware, but if you would please make everybody that you know aware so that anybody that wants to can attend. As always, free of charge. I can't promise that your insurance will accept that and give you reduced rates, but it does sometimes happen, so if you come, I'll get you on the roster, and I'll certainly get you something that says that you came to the class, and you can try your insurance on that and see if you can get a reduced rate. It's going to be September 16th at 2 p.m., and that's going to be at the Demosa Senior Village there in Yucca Valley, 3rd floor. A really nice TV I'll be using, and I'll be there. The only thing I have left is just a reminder that school's back in session, so we please remind everybody that's driving to be aware and alert of the school buses and the stops that they make, and to not drive past the flashing red lights and stop signs while the children are crossing or boarding the school bus, and also be more aware of the increased pedestrian traffic, especially in school zones and neighborhoods. And just a reminder that we're a resource for the public, so please use us. If you ever have anything that you want, presentation-wise or information-wise, please feel free to call the office. I know I postponed getting you a business card for probably 6 months or more, but I did bring business cards today, so anybody that wants one, I probably don't have enough for everybody, but I do have some, so please come ask, and I will take any questions that anybody has. Yes, sir.
Did the promoters for the Childish Gambino event, did they give you any notice that was happening?
We were there assisting with traffic control, so I know that we did have some advance notice that they were going to be there. So we were there to help alleviate the traffic congestion from people that were trying to turn across the highway, that were coming eastbound, that were trying to block up the westbound traffic, and the westbound traffic was trying to get in there. It was blocking up the number 2 lane, and people that were mass exodus at the end of the concert, they were gumming up the whole intersection. So we were there, and we did help with that. So I don't know how much advance notice we had, but we were there to take care of that. Do you have more on that question, or?
Well, I avoided the area completely.
Good idea.
Until about Friday, 3 p.m. eastbound, there were no signs telling the event goers to get to the left.
We tried to put up traffic cones to kind of let them know that, hey, if you're not in that turn lane, you should be. But sometimes, well, I shouldn't say some things about drivers, but we can't obviously get the point across to some people sometimes. But we do our best, and we were out there and available and trying to wave people over and run traffic breaks as necessary and do our best to make sure that there weren't any incidents and that the public could get through as best they could. You were first, just
Yeah, just curious, who's responsible for paying for that?
for us being there, that would be the Live Nation. Yes, they contract us, and so it doesn't take away any of the other resources that are already allotted for, so that's all brought in by them.
Yes, that was really my question. How far in advance did they contract with you, and that they do piggyback with that?
I think they gave us about a 2-week notice. And some of those signs that you mentioned were a concern for ours as well. According to the promoter, they have to pull contracts, permits from Caltrans to put some of those signs out. And as he explained it, and I don't know this for a fact, but they said they're about 8 weeks out. And if they miss that window, then technically they can't put some of those signs out. So which causes a problem for us as well, and that's why Officer Miller explained that's why we do extra cones and lights.
So they have a big event planned in October, and have they notified everybody, so they'll have cones out, and they'll have that contract going?
It depends on the contract and the amount of people that they want to bring in. This one was one of the first that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
it was large. It was larger, and I don't know about the other ones like Bhakti Fest. We're not involved in that. It's still too small. But however, if we do recognize that there is a problem with traffic and it causes undue hardship on passing motorists, we can intervene and ask for them to contract with us. We have done that in the past in other locations where I've worked.
I can answer it.
I'll do my best, I promise.
In the last 15 years, we've had a considerable increase in traffic on a lot of highways in Southern California. But predominantly here in the Morongo Basin, 62 and 247. We've had a lot of aggressive driving on both those highways. And we've been encouraging more and more road rage. What is being done to alleviate the problem?
Well, I'll agree with you on the increase in traffic, because I've only been here 5 years, and it's gotten a lot worse, in my opinion, or not worse, but more traffic in just the time that I've been here. We do what we've always done, and we patrol, and we do as best we can to issue citations when necessary. We make sure that for example, down in Morongo, with the delineators and stuff, to keep people from, of course, sometimes that increases the aggressive driving because people don't like to see that stuff there or change, as well as the increase in traffic lights in the intersections through Yucca Valley. There's almost one on every intersection now, which also kind of gives the appearance of more traffic, although it maybe wouldn't have been if there weren't the traffic lights to stop traffic as often. But we do our best to be there and to make sure that we cite aggressive drivers. And we ask the public to please call and let us know when there's road rage or a suspected drunk driver or something of that nature, so that we can respond specifically to that incident as it's occurring. So we do depend on the public to be our eyes and ears sometimes as well, because we can't be everywhere, but we do certainly try to be. And with the increase in traffic, presumably the increase in calls for service will go up for us, which may translate at some future period to be more officers available, but I don't think we're there yet. Do you have more on that question, or? No? Yes, sir.
We've had it for years with the county being in Joshua Tree. Our speed limit's 45. 29 is 35, and 40 in Yucca for the most part. We've had a lot of fatalities. People getting hit, especially on nights where we have our tours and people running around town and maybe not quite, sober. So, being state as you are, would you help us get some crosswalks in and help us get our speed limit lowered through our town? I know Caltrans is the one that ultimately does this. And we've talked to them because they've come here and we've talked to them and said, look, get it down. Because if they go 45, if the speed limit's 45, they're going 55.
Sure.
And if you get it down to 35, they'll be going 45, which is what they're looking for.
Sure. Well, we provide statistics to agencies like Caltrans and county roads so that they have traffic collision statistics and information that all pertains to how engineering and enforcement will be handled. Some jurisdictions, like Yucca Valley, is an incorporated town of Yucca Valley, so Yucca Valley is kind of, in my understanding, they can kind of do what they deem necessary as far as putting up additional crosswalks and traffic lights and signage and stuff like that. Some, like you say, sometimes a person's not exactly sober or whatnot, and obviously we do our best with everything to enforce and keep everybody safe. When it comes to putting or reducing speed limits, that's all done very matter-of-factly. Sometimes they have to do a new survey if you want the speed limit changed. That survey may not always work the way you want it to. You may see an increase in a speed limit based on how the survey goes and how people are driving there. So it can be done, but it's very matter-of-factly on how it's done. It's time-consuming, but it may not give you the result you're looking for. So sometimes there might be a different answer. Is that helpful, or leaves you with more questions? Yeah, if you could just decide that you wanted to reduce the speed limit to 25, but we can't just do that. So it has to be done.
Computation is very convoluted and confusing. It doesn't apply to some places.
True, some places it doesn't, but those are all specific to, well, they're all written down on which places that doesn't apply to. But other than that, it's the rules they have to follow for speed limits.
My question is, do you have any leverage and would you help us work towards getting a lower speed?
I personally do not have any leverage. I know some people that might have, a better idea about how to go about that. Do you have the phone number to our office?
I do, yes.
Call and talk to us, and we'll do what we can. Had somebody else?
2 months ago, I was driving east on Alta Loma, where La Quintana comes in.
Okay.
I got my windshield shot at. I kept driving, dialed 911. I didn't realize when you dial 911 from a cell phone, it rings Sacramento CHP dispatch.
It should not.
Well, anyway, when I told them where I was, they said they couldn't locate it because there wasn't a major cross street. La Quintana and Alta Loma are major cross streets. I just kept on going, went home.
Okay.
And then I called the local sheriff on the regular number, and they came out, they took a message, they took a picture and everything like that. I wrote a letter to the newspaper, and I entitled it, 911 Sucks. And I told them about the incident, but I did mention the officer, the sheriff, when he came out, he was courteous, he took pictures and all like that. And it was just a bizarre thing.
Yeah, I don't have an answer of why that might have happened, but when you call 911 from a cell phone, it should go to CHP dispatch, which should be the closest dispatch center, which would be in Barstow.
Oh, okay.
And if you tell Barstow dispatch, Alta Loma, and La Quintana, they certainly know where it is, and so do all of we, because it is a major cross.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Anybody else? Yes.
Who decides when an area gets turn on your lights during the daytime? How is that decided? I know they used to have it on Old Warm Springs Road for a period of time.
They do still have it on Old Warren Springs.
Because I noticed in Morongo Valley, very early in the morning, when there's a lot of traffic going to work down the hill, when you're coming up from the roads in Morongo, when you look to the east, it's very difficult to see cars that don't have their lights on.
Yes.
And I just wondered if that was something that we could request, that our area have that sign that says turn on your daytime lights or something?
Yeah. If I had to guess, which I would have to guess, that would be Caltrans Engineering that would decide that that sign needed to be there.
So they're the one to get in touch with them.
Well, you could get in touch with us also, or Caltrans, or we could do that. But it would be us that would enforce that. Those are enforceable signs, so we could enforce that. And it is still on Old Warm Springs Road for quite some miles. You're welcome. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know it's not really your bailiwick, and it's not really Captain Jolene's bailiwick either, because it's within Yucca Valley, but I brought it up about 6 or 8 months ago here, and I was told that the town of Yucca Valley would have had some plans for it, and of course nothing has happened, which is no big surprise. But it's the double yellow line at the ARCO station. Primarily people turning into it, and now people turning out and heading west.
Right.
Anything else that Yucca Valley is actually planning on either enforcing or changing the striping?
Captain Joling had something to say on that last time, which he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to this time.
I didn't have anything productive to say about it.
I could say
I still don't have
those double yellow lines, there's 2 sets of them. If they're 2 feet apart or more, that is a divided highway section that you cannot legally turn across. I think the intent of having it there was to keep them from turning across it, because then people that are trying to make the left turn at the actual street get stuck behind them waiting for traffic. They can't, it just kind of backs things up. And of course, turning out from there and making the left turn where it says no left turn and is also going across a divided highway section. I don't know that anything's being done or in the works to change what it is, like to put a raised curb or something that would prevent people from actually being able to make that turn. And I do know that it is obviously unsafe to make that left turn or the coming out or going in. But as long as that, I haven't measured it and I don't know, but if it is 2 feet or more apart, those 2 sets of double yellow lines, it is enforceable as a divided highway section. You cannot cross it or drive on it or over it.
At least one person got a ticket that was well in excess.
We do enforce when we see it. I know that when it happens, when we're there, as we're going from place to place. But I don't know if Jimmy Delgado wants to sit there and specifically do something about it or not. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I don't know. I just don't know. I could do it. I could sit there if you'd like.
Well, it's a small thing on a big highway.
You know, you may want to try contacting the city itself, the town.
Yeah.
Because again, we can enforce what's out there, the speed limit, the double yellows, the stop sign. And if it's not there, then we can't. We're not the ones who engineer it. We're not the ones.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, I know, but.
I was just wondering whether you or Captain Jolene heard anything from the other.
You know what, let me get them off the hook. I will get a hold of the city engineer and I'll get you an answer on that.
Anyone else?
Okay, with no more questions, that's it. Now, I'd like to make a statement, because we have County Fire here, Cal Fire, CHP, and Sheriff, and I'd like to give them a shout out for all the help that they've given in the current fire situation that we've had in California. And I know it's touched every single department, whether it's manpower, moving around, or it's mutual aid. So I'd like to give them all a hand here, whether Okay, thank you. Our next item is item H. And before we get to the resolution, which Pat Flanagan is going to read, I'd like to introduce Tom O'Kee. Tom O'Kee is going to give us just a slight 3-minute background, right, Tom? Tom is our county-approved Dark Skies Committee Chair, who set up the Dark Skies Committee and is moving forward to get some ordinance changes in the county, hopefully, that will affect some of the dark skies, to get them darker, actually, so we can see the stars and the moon.
So that's the whole idea. And I also happen to be the chapter leader for the International Dark Sky Association's San Bernardino County High Deserts region. And I'm very pleased that between my personal interest in amateur astronomy and the beautiful night skies out here and the idea that we've got something come up before us. And thanks to Supervisor Ramos, who signed a really nice letter in support of this, it's being extended tonight to the rest of the county supervisors for general approval as a resolution coming from our supervisors in support of the designation of Joshua Tree National Park as an International Dark Sky Association Dark Sky Park. With us tonight is John Barentine from the International Dark Sky Association. And he is part of a really great group I'm associated with, representing efforts on dark skies around the world. I think in 60 countries with thousands of members. And a dark sky place and a dark sky park and dark sky communities are something that can be designated by the International Dark Sky Association, the leading experts on science and knowledge about dark skies and the impacts of light pollution on our environment, on health, on a lot of things. And when you get to a certain point where you're fighting to defend darkness, you can achieve these designations. And Joshua Tree Park, thanks to Luke Sabala, who's also with us tonight, the park physical scientist, this application is being presented to the IDA for approval. And John's been taking a look around the park today, and he's going to be meeting with Luke and seeing whether or not we can do this. And we hope our supervisors are going to support it. We want the community to support this. This is an effort that comes to us as a support structure for the park. We like the park, and we should try and support this, not just as a resolution, but in the true action it takes to turn off our lights, make the park dark, keep the stars shining, look out for the environment and the animals and all of the things that are critical to being what the park is supposed to be. And that's what we're doing here. And so we're asking the MAC tonight to pass this resolution. We're asking our county supervisors to approve it as well, and we're hoping that we can achieve this. This is not an easy achievement. The IDA makes this a difficult thing to achieve, and it should be, because if you don't have the standards and the criteria, what have you achieved? And this is something that needs to go on. It needs to improve. It needs to show that we care. And I'm very thankful to be in a position to be able to introduce this here tonight. Thank you very much.
What effect will this have on the areas like, let's say, from Morongo Valley to Wonder Valley in the planning stages at the county? Will this help us get people to turn off their lights?
Well, the ordinance and what we're doing with regards to the county itself, yes. Hopefully what we're doing is we're addressing issues that come from our committee, studying all of the information available to us, understanding the issue that we have, and being able to include that information into the updated county codes so that the lighting ordinance is going to reflect prudent use of light and the control of light pollution. And we're looking at changing things in the existing code as well as enforcement in the existing code. There's a multifaceted problem. We have already a code, but is it being enforced? It doesn't really relate to the problem. How can we improve and make the code be, applicable to light trespass and the influence of light in negative ways? And how can it be used better, reducing energy waste and so on. So all of the issues are being examined, and we're looking at how we're going to be able to improve the general health of our night sky as well as the use of lighting generally in the community. Okay? Anybody else got a question? Oh, David Fick.
Have you considered the motto, join the dark side?
Yes, we've considered that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, I'll go ahead and read item H, and then Pat Flanagan. I'll read H, and then Pat Flanagan is going to read the actual resolution itself. Pat is also a member of the Dark Sky Committee, so this is appropriate that she would read the resolution. Item H, resolution number MB-8 MAC 016. It is recommended that the Morongo Basin Municipal Advisory Council adopt resolution MB MAC 016 supporting Joshua Tree National Park as an International Dark Sky Association Dark Sky Park during the 100th anniversary of the National Park Service. Pat?
The county? The county, okay. The County of San Bernardino officially resolves to support the designation of Joshua Tree National Park as an International Dark Sky Association Dark Sky Park because of its significant night sky resources and outstanding opportunities for the public, as well as amateur and professional astronomers to enjoy viewing dark, pristine, and star-studded night skies. Whereas Joshua Tree National Park has identified dark night skies as a critically important resource that merits protection, the importance of which is underscored, small print, when one considers the 99% of the planet's skies are light polluted, and that as of 15 years ago, 2/3 of the Americans could no longer see the Milky Way from their backyards. Whereas Joshua Tree National Park is recognized as Southern California's national park and an internationally important designation for over 2 million visitors seeking world-class recreation, biodiversity, and pristine night skies, and these visitors contribute over $96 million to the economics of communities surrounding the park. Whereas more than 25 million people live in Southern California, the majority of them in crowded urban areas with significant light pollution where dark sky viewing is impaired and few stars are visible, and Joshua Tree National Park stands as a dark sky oasis where millions of visitors can still gaze up in wonder at the Milky Way and celestial heavens. Whereas Joshua Tree National Park is location and clear, arid atmosphere enhance night sky viewing for visitors, amateur and expert astronomers from around California, the nation, and the globe, and the night sky resource is unique for its scientific, natural, educational, cultural values, as well as the public's enjoyment. So be it resolved that San Bernardino County officially supports the designation of Joshua Tree National Park as an International Dark Sky Association Dark Sky Park, and to recognize that there is a direct reciprocal relationship to the protection of Joshua Tree National Park's resources, such as dark night skies and quality of life and the economic well-being of the region.
This has been a few months or a long haul coming, and Tom, we appreciate it, you and your committee. Thank you.
I have a question. I support this 100%, but since it is, once it's passed, and we have so many scientific people here today, is that 99% of the planet's skies or of the populated area of the skies? Because it seems to me 2/3 of the planet is ocean. So are we talking about 99% there?
Well, actually, Seth Shire wrote that, and I'm assuming it's the populated areas, because 99% of the
I just don't want somebody looking at this and saying, well, that doesn't make sense. And once we do it, it's a wonderful thing. We should just make sure that that's right. That's all. So,
you can put an annotation in, Richard.
well, I would just make it populated continents or something. Anyway.
Yeah, would I have the board's, the council's permission to check that one fact out and amend this based on the outcome? Okay. Okay,
Otherwise, it's perfect.
Yeah. We can vote on that with that one caveat that we can correct or verify that particular.
Can I offer a verification now, since we have the leading expert in the country and the world probably sitting with us? What is the population or the percentage?
The 99% figure, you're correct that it's the populated part of the world. So in other words, 99% of the world population lives in a place where there is an influence of light pollution. They do not live under pristine night skies. And Seth put in the figure from what's called the World Atlas of Artificial Night Sky Brightness that was published in 2001. This summer in June, there was an update to that with brand new data, and the figure for the United States is now 80% of the population of the United States lives in a place that has a light polluted night sky, up from 2/3 15 years ago.
Okay, would you suggest that we just add the, when one considers that 99% of the planet's populated skies?
Yes, populated places.
Places.
Night skies.
Well, how about 99% of the planet's population live under skies that are like...
That's accurate, yes.
Okay, you want to read that again, Tom?
So following 99% of the planet's, this is where you added, population live under, then just go ahead with skies.
Okay, is that acceptable to the council?
Either that or that, or like,
That follows.
Live under.
Right here is where you put it all. And then that's just follows.
Tom, read that sentence then.
Okay. Starting with, when one considers that 99% of the planet's population lives under skies that are light polluted, and that as of 15 years ago.
Okay, is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a vote on the resolution number MACO16? Do I hear? Okay, second? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Teresa Sykes and I represent Wonder Valley. We have 3 Wonder Valley residents enrolled at Copper Mountain Mesa in the Fire Technology Program. Laura Sibley is taking emergency medical responder training. Harris Miller is as well and is also enrolled in the Paid Call Firefighter Academy. I'm taking Fire 001 and the EMT training. Other students in Wonder Valley are working closely toward other goals, one being high school completion. We're hoping to work more closely with Copper Mountain College to get more people into school. About 30 people attended Saturday's community meeting. We welcomed our new Wonder Valley Community Center coordinator, Ricardo Figueroa, and our new fire captains and firefighters. We learned from our new captain that for the first time in 50 years, Wonder Valley is without a water tender. Wonder Valley does not have a water system. We're all on wells and hauled water. Nor do we have any fire hydrants. The water tender served as our portable hydrant. People at the meeting expressed concern that we have virtually no fire coverage now. Next month is Fire Prevention Month, and we're planning to schedule another fire extinguisher training and perhaps a CPR training. We're also looking into social media applications that would notify people trained in CPR of people near them in immediate need. And we also have several artists preparing for next month's art tour. Thank you.
I'm Richard Lutringer. Excuse me? Turn the mic on. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Richard Lutringer, representing Landers. First weekend of October, we're having the major tag sale at the Belfield Hall. First time we've had it in a long time. Usually have more people from Landers here tonight at these meetings, but there is going on at this very moment a discussion of the community plan, Rosewood Valley, and so many people are there, so that's why we don't have as many people from Landers here tonight, which is also a very interesting development, and I'm sure that there'll be further reports on that in the future. I would also say, and I mentioned this to Mark, that I am unfortunately moving out of the county. I'm in the process of doing that. So I'm going to have to give up this post, and it's been a real honor and pleasure to be the representative of Landers. And I look forward to visiting here quite often. The dark sky of Joshua. Thank you.
Right before that, like to say thank you very much, Richard. Richard's been instrumental in some of the projects that we've been working on with the county. He's done tremendous work, and he's been a valued member of our council, and we thank you very much. We hope you move back to Landon.
Tom Ziegert, Yucca Mesa. Just some things that are happening on the Mesa. Beginning on the 17th, we're having another swap meet. We had them on the first and third Saturdays. That starts at 8 a.m. And on 6 p.m. Friday, September 23rd, is our potluck. We'll be having a community speaker at the potluck on aquaponics. From 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on September 24th is the Yucca Mesa Fall Festival. It's a fundraiser for the community center and for the Improvement Association. It's got a chili cook-off, lots of crafts and food vendors, live music, a horseshoe competition, and Money Minute. A lot of public safety equipment will be on display and children's activities. Then in October, beginning the 1st, we have our swap meet, and then our board meeting for the Yucca Valley Improvement Association will be 6 p.m. on Monday, October 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, Mark Lundquist, representing Joshua Tree. First of all, we've got a fall music festival coming up at the Joshua Tree Lake, and it is October 6th through the 9th. And you can get tickets and go online to joshuatreemusicfestival.com. Also, we've got second Saturday nights every month down in downtown Joshua Tree, the art crawl, and of course the farmers market on Saturday, every Saturday, which is an ongoing event. Let me see, on Saturday, October 1st at 8 a.m., a women's getaway weekend, fall 2016. You can get information on that. The next three events actually at the Visitor Center in Joshua Tree. Then on October 8th, creative camp cooking with Chef Tanya Petrovana, I guess it is. That's an event that I've heard a few people talk about. And then on Saturday, November 5th, How to Survive in the Desert, fall 2016. And all these events take place at the Joshua Tree Visitor Center. Okay, and the next thing I'd like to talk about is something that I've been personally involved with for a while. I wear many hats. And one of them is I'm on the Morongo Basin Transit Board of Directors. And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but we have finally, with the help of a consultant, passed a plan based on the visitor count in the park. I know 5 years ago the visitor count was about 800,000 a year, and I think this year will eclipse 2.5 million. It has caused extensive influx of visitors, and it caused backups at the park entry, particularly in the Joshua Tree entrance, some to 29. The park is overloaded right now. So we have passed a plan. Morongo Basin Transit is now going to start operating as of January 1st buses within the park. We will be transporting from two centers, one in Joshua Tree from the park headquarters, and the other one will probably leave out of the Stater parking lot in 29 Palms. What that allows us to do is move people from those areas into the park where they can leave their cars in the town and try to relieve some of the traffic. Those buses will run every 2 hours within the park, but within the park, there'll be 4 other buses cycling to the popular campsites. Those buses will hit those campsites every half an hour. You can take a bus in, you can get off, you can do your hiking, whatever, and then come back in 30 minutes or 60 minutes or 90 minutes, and there'll be a bus waiting for you. We've also had a request for that system for bicyclers that go through that. So the buses will now be equipped with bicycle racks, and there'll be a great a chance for the bicycle people that want to go through the park. I know that some of this was actually driven by the European model. If you're in Europe and you're in a national park or a recreation area, they expect transportation. They have a wonderful bus system, a transportation system. So we kind of looked at that model and we developed this one. And the park is chipping in their portion for the service. The Morongo Basin Transit is chipping in theirs based on the fare box. And the county has chipped in about $40,000 to get this kicked off. Don't expect to make any money on it, but if it's a viable system and it works out for the park and it works out for the community, if it generates some tourist dollars, we're all in favor of it. Okay, and that's my report. Thank you.
Gail Swart, Morongo Valley. And I'd like to say that the night sky initiative for the park is wonderful. I moved to Morongo Valley in 1979 and sleep outside in the summertime. We used to be able to see the Milky Way very clearly, not anymore. I mean, we can see it, it's faint, but I think this will help everyone, I hope, throughout the basin to bring that light down so that we can see the stars again. So thank you. Morongo Valley, this Saturday, we're having an arts and crafts fair at the park, Covington Park, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There'll be food and booths, and it should be a lot of fun. And then Saturday, October 8th, the Firefighters Auxiliary has their pancake breakfast from 8 to 11. And then our firefighters union, local union, will have a car show in the afternoon. So please come, there'll be food all day, and it'll be the cars are always really interesting to see. So if you're going that way, please come by. Thank you.
Michelle Myers, Pioneer Town. I'd like to echo Gail's thanks to the Dark Sky Association. I think it's absolutely wonderful. All I have is a reminder to Pioneer Town residents that our first community workshop on the county-wide community plan is scheduled for tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the Pioneer Town Motel. Workshop number 2 will be Tuesday, November 15th, same time, same place. Thanks.
Pat Flanagan from Desert Heights. And big deal, David was talking about it. Wearing another hat, I will be commenting for the JT 105 Alliance on the Altamira project tomorrow. Anybody who hasn't got some extra time to spend, show up please at the county building in Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, and hear what's going on with the folks. It's the big argument that we're going to be presenting is that the Altamira project does not follow the community plan, and there's serious problems with the transportation study. There's of course other plans, but you only have a limited amount of time. So we're going to be doing that. And listening to comments about the cell phone tower, I'm suspecting that we should have some kind of a work day or evening on CEQA, because nobody looks out for you. You have to look out for yourself. And the California Environmental Quality Act, which is meant to be an act that allows people to learn about projects and comment on them. There is no police except the individual citizens. And I think it would help everybody if we did some kind of a workshop on that, so that you, for instance, if there's no notification in the right area, you have to speak up about that. And that's this appeal that we're going to be speaking to tomorrow is citizens saying, no, you didn't do the job right. And it is not easy to get a grasp on how you do this, but it's important. So I think Mark, what do you think? We should work on something?
Something's been on my mind for a while.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure when that's going to be, but stay tuned. And we'll have, our class to begin with, and show you how to look up stuff on the web to respond. And anybody who lives in the Morongo Basin should know that this is probably one of the most active places in terms of looking after our land use that I have ever been associated with. So you're in a good place to learn how and to be responsive.
There's one thing I forgot, and I did because I don't see many faces here from Morongo Valley. But our community plan update is coming this Wednesday at 6 o'clock in Morongo Valley. If anyone is interested in seeing, Morongo Valley is one of the few communities that has its own community plan. And my husband and I have been to the last two, so that's been 20 years. So this is our 30th year because they're every 10 years. So if anybody's interested in seeing how it works, 6 o'clock at the Morongo Valley Community Center. Wednesday.
The Landers contingent reminded me that I did not mention one event, Goobler's Orchid Festival in Landers, big deal, October 1st and 2nd, right near the Integratron.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Okay, we'll get down to adjournment. I would like to say that before we adjourn, this will be in memory of Sherry Rotruck, which was one of our code enforcement officers for many years. She passed away recently. I don't know what day, and we're sad to see her go. She was a staple here in the Basin for many, many years and covered all the way from Morongo Valley to Wonder Valley, and we'll miss her. So in memory of Sherry Rotruck, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.